episode 1 of
Thirsty
Thirties.
I'm Amrita.
I'm Arpita, and today we are talking about
Numbing Culture. So, do you want to go ahead and explain what numbing culture is?
yes, numbing culture is a world where we are asked to numb down our feelings every second. We are getting new terms every day. Situationship, where you cannot catch feelings. Breadcrumbing, where somebody is just hanging you in something and you just have to keep hoping that one day there will be feelings.
So, catching feelings is a crime right now. You're very scared to open up to people. You'll think 100 times. Is it too soon to open up? Because that is the culture that we are having right now. Especially in dating apps and stuff. You have to go through the pressure every time you start talking to someone.
So now let's talk about some of these pop culture terms that are getting invented every day, and it just has a new meaning of this numbing culture altogether. Do you have a favorite one?
Of course. I would say my favorite would be zombieing. so the term so the term itself has, its meanings. Basically, zombieing is a situation where somebody will just cut contact with you. A variation of ghosting. Basically, they just go, but then they just come out of their grave to say hi once in a while. So that is basically zombie. So they just keep appearing whenever they want. Maybe in 2 months, maybe in 1 year or 3 months. The timing is completely up to them.
I have at least one favorite, which is something I find so funny. That is benching. Benching is when
A variation of breadcrumb.
yes, exactly. So benching is when someone is not, committing enough to you, but they still want to keep you around, right? So they'll just, sometime text you and be like, "Hey, how are you? I care about you," and all of that. They're not ready to commit, but they're not ready to let go. So it's just like that. We have more terms. We have fizzling.
Fizzling. Yes.
We have fizzling. We have textlationship, which is
Textlationship. Yeah. Textlationship is
when somebody texts you and you have a vibe, but when somebody is not ready to do it in real life. So it's like basically pen a friend or whatever we had like 20 years back, but in a new modern format. And fizzling is even worse. Fizzling is when someone wants to show you that they are not interested, but they don't want to say it directly. So they basically will use subtle ways of saying they're not interested.
Do you so when was the time that you experienced, you are catching feelings for someone too soon? Or have you ever regretted?
Of course.
Not a question.
Of course.
Okay,
Yeah,
you wanna
so,
explain? Are you comfortable?
Yeah, so I was in a relationship with someone, it was a proper relationship and everything. I thought at least, come on. Even though we were in college, but I thought it's fine. Why not? But then this person had his own stuff going on with a lot of other people. And when I get to know, I'm like, hey, what's that about? He's like, it's not too deep, Arpita. It's what it is. Like, why do you have so many feelings? I'm like, I'm supposed
Dude,
to.
you're a human being. You're supposed to have feelings.
No. Yeah,
So you went through situationship much before this term was
yes,
introduced.
exactly. I didn't even know that's a thing.
A lot of us did, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes we feel like we are too old for this. We
Yeah.
feel drained out. We feel exhausted. Because you see, like TV shows where it's okay, like, 3 situationships and 1 cheating is completely fine, and that's fine. But is it like if you're in that reality, and you're kind of waking up every day and you're asking yourself, how much of my feelings am I supposed to have today for someone because I really like him? And you're always in the dark because sometimes you're too much, sometimes you're not giving enough. So where do we draw that line? Let me just ask you this. Dating then versus now, when you started dating or when you first got to know about this, feelings and crush and whatnot, and now that you're 30, just turned 30, how is it different? Is there any difference? How is it going?
Of course, there's a lot of difference, when we had crushes in school, when I had my First love. uh, all of that, it didn't take much time for me to fall into the process of falling in love, basically. It was very simple. You just catch feelings for someone in a very short span of time. There is no much confusion. Second month, you're already into a relationship, full fledged. So it was very easy.
You're committed. When can you feel like you can communicate or be vulnerable freely? Is it with your friends in real life? Is it your just friends in social media? Because you have, good number of friends that you met through events, and maybe they are just in social media right now, right? So when do you feel like you don't have to numb your feelings and you just can be open about it and just tell someone that, hey, this is what I feel? Like, is there a situation? Is it a medium that you feel comfortable? Is it real life, social media? What is it?
Absolutely, social media is never the right platform to show your feelings. It's not recommended at all. So I am a person who's, I have a good circle of friends, but I have filtered them in like various levels. I have certain group of friends whom I'm very close with, whom I kind of discuss my life with. So that is one circle of friends that I have. Another circle of friends is basically just for, maybe we just have a normal conversation and then socializing, basically. So those are the two type of, and I have my best friends who I know from years, and those are the people whom I'm not in touch at all. We just communicate in the form of reels. But I know for a fact that if I need something, if I'm in trouble, they will be there. So that is the kind of trust that I have on them. So I am most vulnerable with them.
How like about in person?
Yeah, in person.
So that is what makes me wonder, like the reason we are discussing this term, numbing culture, is because when social media was sort of pushed to us, right, it became a part of our life. The main promise was that this connects, right? This connects people. You can be your most expressive self. You can be saying everything that you maybe can't say in real life. You can build communities. I'm not saying we are not building communities. We are still building communities in some way or the other. You can meet people who likes the same sort of film and music and what not, right? But still somewhere there is a disconnect that we are not being able to be our true selves in Instagram. I mean, you can post a story crying, but five people will text you like, "Hey, what's up?" But that also leaves a very different impact because people will interpret that differently, right? So even if you are being your honest and authentic self, you are scared that nobody will actually get what is up, right? So you obviously feel that fear because whenever you do open Instagram or any other social media app for that matter, you see a barrage of happy pictures. Everybody's happy, everybody's on vacations, everybody's having the best weekend of their life, and you're like, okay, so I am not having the best weekend this week, but how do I tell that to you? Does anybody care? So there the numbing starts, right? The numbing starts right there, where
the
you don't
reality is
even
completely different from what is being seen on social media.
So there we are kind of getting disconnected with each other. Like if, for example, you're my friend and I'm not with you here, and I just see that you just went on to some place and you're having the best time of your life. Maybe you're literally posting the pictures from 2 days back, but I'm having a bad day and I want to call you. But then I'll be like, you know what? She is out. She's having a good time. Why would I disturb her? Right? So this culture is not just in dating apps. It's kind of everywhere among us, and that is why we find it hard to be our authentic self in Instagram or wherever. So the only place we can do that, it's a safe space, is when you're with a group of friends who understand you. But then again, we are also busy, so that also doesn't really happen a lot. So yeah, every day you're like, it's me, my journal against the entire world.
Yeah, your journal knows all your secrets.
Yes, that's how you're living.
So don't you think your upbringing also can play a major role in?
Oh my God! So yeah.
What do you think? Because I've seen men. Yeah. Specifically, I'm not generalizing, but the thing is, I've heard it from many of my friends, saying that, they cannot show their emotions or they cannot cry in front of everybody because they are told like that from their childhood. I mean, a man crying to his close friend or his girlfriend or his family or whoever it is does not make him weak at all.
Absolutely.
Right? They have this, I mean, I don't know why this kind of information is passed on for generations where a man is expected to be strong and not to show emotions. I mean, that also plays a lot of role in the term that we are talking about.
Absolutely. So that's the question that, dating men versus women, is there a difference? And what is the difference? And she just said that, like, when we are talking about numbing our feelings, even I would say that men, at least there was this whole thing about you have to be strong and you can never show your feelings. And then we thankfully got some good shows where there's a term like be a man and cry like a bitch. We might have to censor that, but you get my point.
Yeah, I got it.
So that is where the most disconnect happens, when even at the core of our culture we tell one gender or like a specific specific sort of people that, hey, you can't cry, they can, and then you define the other gender by their cry. I mean, numbing culture is not going anywhere, but it's up to us to not numb ourselves.
Yes, just clearly communicate what you're feeling. If you feel comfortable or close enough with the other person, the best way would be, as per me, would be, communicate rather than making things complicated. I don't think there's any other solution. And numbing culture, numbing your feelings is not at all cool. If you guys are thinking it is very cool, because that is also, people think this, okay, I will, be a bit strong and not show my feelings, so I will be cool, it's okay to be like this. It is not.
And it's just gonna add up to your therapy bills later in your life. So
therapies are expensive.
Why do you think we are doing this?
Too much reality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I just have one last question. That is, next time, suppose you have feelings from someone, and they come and say feelings for someone, and somebody comes and say, hey, is it not too early, like to catch feelings? Like maybe we should give it more time. Why do you think this is okay? What would be your reaction, or how would you handle that situation?
As in, if that person comes and tells me.
Yeah, like when you have feelings for that person, and that person says that, isn't it too early to have feelings? Like, what's up? Like,
no, I would see if there is a potential. That is where I'll say, I will clearly communicate with that person if I give time. Will there be do you think there is a potential for this? Do you think we can, go ahead? If that is the case, definitely I don't mind in giving time. But if you know it when the person is ready or not, I mean, years of experience, we know it. So if I can see, like, if the person is actually putting efforts, or if the person is actually looking forward for something, if that is the case, I'll definitely give them time. But if not, you will know it, and you just need to walk away. That's it. There are thousands of fishes in the sea, as they say.
But most of them are dead, or at least dead from inside.
I don't know, which sea do I go and find?
Can you guys like share locations of these places where there's a lot of fishes, because we don't find them anywhere? So please help.
So now that we have spoken a lot about numbing culture and how it is affecting people, how do you actually deal with this? If you have advices, please give it to me, give it to them, give it to everyone. Let the world know. Yeah.
So I personally feel like the only way to deal with numbing culture is to make sure in your head that you are not going to be numb for anybody, right? I mean, of course, if the situation requires, you may get numb because that's your coping mechanism. We have all we had to numb our feelings somewhere, but to deal with that is to embrace yourself with all of your complexities. If you're having a complex feelings for something, you write it down, you talk to them, you tell them whatever feelings you have are all valid for sure, but not all feelings are true. Again, that's a part of your head. Sometimes your head can tell you wrong stuff as well, right? That's
absolutely.
But then you should know at any point you don't have to numb your feelings. So you should have people who also understand that. And if somebody is not understanding that,
cut off, block them away.
Cut them out.
That is my way of dealing things. Just block.
Yeah. So you need people around you who will let you flourish, who will let you have all the sensitive feelings that other people are scared about you having. And that's how you just go on, because there is no other way. We cannot be like, yeah, none of us have feelings. We'll just go around and live our life so strong. And अच्छा तुझे नहीं चाहिए तो मत कर.
So when you said that, I have one last question. So
Yes.
do you feel a man who is not sensitive enough attractive? Can you ever get attracted to a man who's not sensitive at all? Sensitive in the sense he should be able to emotionally connect, you know? So,
After a point, I think if I don't see that my feelings are getting reciprocated, you know, like if the other person is not even being able to understand where am I coming from, where what is the issue, what is the source of this, you know, emotion, where did it emotion come from in me, right? If they're not, again, the popular term, emotionally intelligent, then I don't think we can go go
Right.
ahead and do that, because
at this point, no.
no, and we don't have to do that. That's the whole point of
Right.
this. Like, we have lived our life enough, and we are happily single if we have to be single. So we would rather be single and have lots of feelings for our friends and everything else, and we'll express them, than be with someone who says, "Aren't you thinking too much about this?" You are never thinking too much about this. Like, this is all for validating all the overthinkers in the world, because we
I
all
am
are.
the biggest. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
For our first episode.
And we'll see you with the next one.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
That information was not needed. I'm cutting it off.
I am never cutting that off.
That we can relate to all the audiences here.
Yeah, we are relating hard right now.